Yesterday was a very dark day in history, where an unrepentant genocidal war criminal was welcomed to the floor of Congress to give a speech. And we're going to get into his speech a bit later. But I think the welcoming itself is a story on its
Yeah,
own.
yeah.
Yeah. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu enters to a standing ovation to his speech before Congress.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister of the State of Israel.
I'll lower the volume here. So just remember, as you're watching this, folks, this goes on for a couple of minutes. You pay taxes to
Couple of
this
minutes.
government.
This goes on for an hour.
Well, yes,
The whole
as
speech.
we'll get to. Yeah. No,
I don't use sugar anymore. My doctor says it's bad. I use sweet and low.
yeah. A lot of ovations here for sure. You pay taxes to this government. You pay taxes to these people. This government forces you to pay taxes to it. If you don't, they'll send you to jail for not paying the salaries of these people lining up to grovel before one of the most heinous people in modern world history. One of the most heinous world leaders in the history of the world. And here they are. Hey, Schumer didn't even give him a handshake there. Gave him
I noticed
head
that.
nod. Yeah, I guess he can't do that.
A lot of the Democrats were trying to split the difference. I think I kept it in. There's a shot where Hakeem Jeffries, like, he doesn't clap, but then he feels like he has to, so he does like a...
Yeah. Well, Hakeem Jeffries is one of the top AIPAC recipients in Congress, obviously.
Yeah, but they know the optics on it, so
of course.
These people are all just scum. Like, when we play his speech, it was so infuriating. I called Keaton. I needed guidance on how much to cut, because we could literally just do the speech, and that would be the show today. There was almost nothing he said that was not infuriating enough to comment on. I mean, right down to the commas. Like, almost everything he said was just unbelievably dishonest. And on a, we'll get into this more when we actually get into the speech. On a aesthetics of it, you could see why he has survived so long in Israeli politics. He's a very good liar and propagandist. Like, the speech was good on its terms of, you're going to go in there and you're going to play on American nationalism and connect that nationalist ethos to the defense of Israel. He did a great job.
Well, that's his job. That's his job, and it worked on this room. Now, a lot of Democrats did boycott the speech, and then some went and sat on their hands. Obviously, you had Rashida Tlaib hold up a sign saying, war criminal. But look at John Fetterman getting all dressed up here. John Fetterman owns a suit after all. So it's not that he doesn't wear a suit. It's just he waits until war criminals come to town, and then he feels like he should dress up for them. No hoodie today.
Then he breaks it out.
Yep. No hoodie for John Fetterman today. There's Kristen Sinema, outgoing now independent senator.
Yeah, she's not running as an independent, right? She's just
no, she's retiring. She's hanging it up. Joe Manchin. Then you have, who's that? Murphy back there, and Warnock sitting down. But Fetterman getting all dressed up. So see, he can dress up. It's just that he has more respect for genocidal war criminals than he does for his own. So there you go, getting all dressed up today. Elon Musk is in the crowd. Standing ovation. Elon Musk was Netanyahu's invited guest. So standing ovation from Elon Musk. This was a good little split screen here. I thought of doing one myself, but thankfully Asal Rod saved me the trouble here. This kind of says it all. And that goes on for another 12 or 13 seconds, but we're not allowed to show, open flesh wounds bleeding out on YouTube, so I couldn't show you the rest of that. But that's what the rest of that video comprises of: children being treated for open wounds. And so, yeah, this is your government. This is why I'm not an American patriot. This is why I say I'm not a patriot. Oh, how can you say that? How could you not say that? What, I like this place? I'm supposed to like this place? Like, I don't wish harm upon the American people. It's my home. I live here. I like it here. The weather is nice enough, I guess. Although not really. New York, the weather's horrible.
Depends where you live.
Yeah, it's horrible, actually, most of the time.
New York weather?
But this
New
is
York
the country.
weather's all right.
This is it. This is our country right here. This is who we are. This is what we tolerate. This is what we do here. This is what we do. We roll out the red carpet, literally a red carpet, off of the airplane, staying at the Watergate Hotel. Hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on security for this man. Comes in there, a standing ovation, as tens of thousands of people already dead. According to the Lancet, it's around 186,000 as a result of direct and indirect cause of the IDF's actions. And yet, that's the ovation that he gets. And you had a decent number of Democrats not attend because they knew what the optics were. Kamala Harris did not attend, but she met with him in private prior to the meeting. Why is he welcome on U.S. soil? Yeah, yep. There is about to be an ICC warrant out for his arrest. If we were party to that, we would have an obligation to arrest this man. Were he to plan this a couple weeks later, as it looks like that warrant will be handed down within a couple days. I think July 27th was what they were planning. But yes, this is a rogue criminal having the red carpet rolled out for him, hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxpayer money spent on security for him, and a standing ovation. Not just one standing ovation. No. Record for standing ovations for a foreign leader in Congress: 58. Bibi Netanyahu, Israel 2024, breaking his previous record of 28 in 2015. 58 seems to be the number. There were some people saying 50, some people saying 55, but most sources count 58. And so it was at least 50. We know that. So 58 ovations.
And he broke his own record.
Yes. In 56 minutes and 56 seconds. That's the length of the video that Netanyahu tweeted out of his full speech. So more than one standing ovation per minute. So it wasn't just that 2-minute grovel fest at the top. Throughout the speech, they kept standing for this man. So what a shame. What a shame. Brings to mind a quote of mine: fuck the whole country.
Fuck the country.
Yeah.
Well, if we ever get Thomas Frank back on, we'll play that video. And you could say, so now do you see what I meant?
Yeah, now do you see what I meant?
You
gonna argue with me now?
Do you see what I was getting at?
Yeah. You gonna bust my balls now?
Yeah. When you watch that just disgusting display, it really does bring home, like nothing else, how much we are really not in any different position than peasants in an aristocracy are. What control do you have over this government? What control do you have that is greater than a peasant does over its lords and ladies? Do you think the American people want their tax money going to support this genocidal war on the other side of the world, or in Ukraine, for that matter? You think the American people want their tax money going there? For this government, and not just the current, but for a very long time, you want them to spend money, you have to be a foreign power in a war that the defense contractors can make money off of. For the American people, they have nothing. They have nothing. These Republicans do. They're so concerned about the national debt, but there's a blank check for war and armaments. Blank check. I have never heard a Republican say we can't afford all this military presence. You never hear that. We can't afford to be engaged all around the world. It's going to break the budget. You never hear that. You only hear that about Social Security, about Medicare, about proposals for free college. You never hear that about war. It's such a slap in the face. They haven't done anything for the people of East Palestine, Ohio. But all of these countries were funding. They have universal health care. Ukraine has it.
Yep.
Israel has it.
Israel has it.
We don't have it. Free college. All these countries that we fund their wars, they all have these things that they tell us they can't afford for the American people, even though the cost of those things would be a fraction of what we're spending funding these wars.
Yes. Yeah. Just an absolute disgrace. And this is why I said, as soon as October 7th happened, I said this, you're going to feel like Atticus Finch in the sense that the merits of your argument are not going to matter. When you see Congress just stand and applaud this guy after now 10 months of this, that gives you the impression that your arguments, no matter how convincing, do not matter to these people. They are as bigoted as the jury in To Kill a Mockingbird. Right. That is their level of closed-mindedness about this. Right now, you could say it's racially motivated, which to a certain extent it certainly is, because Israel is itself a white settler state. The whole founding of Israel is obviously just in itself blatantly, patently racist. But whatever it is, in the novel, racism is a hegemonic idea that everyone subscribes to the point where they cannot factor in reasonable arguments because the reason just does not permeate that.
Right.
Whatever it is about Israel, in some cases, yes, it's racism. In some cases, it is militarism. In some cases, in a lot of cases with these congressmen, it is as simple as, in Richie Torres's case, who pays me, right? Whatever that is, there is a wall around these people's minds that you simply cannot break through when it comes to this issue, which is why after 10 months, no matter what everyone has said, no matter what's been done in the streets, in towns and cities across the country, not just big cities, but small cities as well, it just doesn't matter. He comes and he gets a standing ovation. 58 standing ovations anyway in a 50-minute speech, 56-minute speech.
Right. After everything we've seen over the past several months.
Right.
After having the UN's highest court rule that they are in violation of international law just last week.
Yep.
And they are going to stand and applaud them. A lot of people have made the point, because all the anti-woke people have aligned with Israel, that Israel is the wokest state. And when we get into his speech, you can see that, because Israel's whole shtick is to hide behind its identity as a so-called Jewish state. That's the whole thing. That's why, you can't get into the fact that Kamala Harris was one of the most overzealous prosecutors of black people in the country. But you bring that up, you're a racist, right? That is the whole woke grift. It is a shield against legitimate criticism and legitimate argument. In that sense, Israel is the ultimate woke country. Their whole premise is you can't say anything because Holocaust. Right. That the Palestinian people had absolutely nothing to do with.
Please clap.